Hi lovelies, welcome to my very first true crime X nail design video. Today's case will be about the sea orphan. The case of the sea orphan is a horrific survival tale of an 11-year-old girl who was orphaned at sea. In 1961, crew members aboard the ship, Captain Theo, snapped a picture of a young girl who was discovered adrift on an inflatable life raft in the middle of the ocean. This left them wondering, how does a young girl end up in the middle of the ocean all alone? This story starts with Dr. Arthur Duperrault. Arthur was the father of Terry Jo Duperrault, who is our 11-year-old survivor. Arthur chartered a boat, or a yacht, called the Bluebell to take his family from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, to the Bahamas. Dr. Arthur Duperrault was an optometrist from Green Bay, Wisconsin. On this trip, he would bring his wife, Jean, and his 3 kids, Brian, 14, Terry Jo, 11, and Renee, 7. He also brought his friend and former Marine and World War II veteran, Julian Harvey, as his skipper. Harvey brought his new wife, Mary Dean. Julian Harvey is very important to this case. From the time both families boarded the yacht in Fort Lauderdale, Florida in 1961 until about halfway through their trip, everything was going great, according to Terry Jo. However, on the 5th night of their journey, Terry Jo was sleeping below deck. She was awoken by screaming and stomping on the deck above her in the cabin she was sleeping. Terry Jo later told reporters that she went upstairs to see what was going on, and she saw her mother and brother lying on the deck, and there was blood everywhere. This shocked her, so when she saw Harvey, Julian Harvey, their family friend, she immediately trusted him and asked him what happened. Instead of being consoling, Harvey slaps her in the face and tells her to return below deck. Although this is a very violent act to do to a child, or anyone for that matter, this would be the most violent Harvey would be with Terry Jo, despite her seeing his actions. The rest of her family were not so lucky. Harvey went on to unalive everyone aboard the yacht that day, besides Terry Jo and himself. Because Terry Jo did not see all of the events occur, we do not know what order or the motive behind each killing. We assume Harvey started by unaliving his wife, Mary Dean. She was drowned, and we assume for her life insurance money. Harvey, even when he finally flees the yacht, brought his wife's corpse with him as evidence for the insurance company. It is assumed that Dr. Arthur Duperrault saw this act along with the rest of his family, leading Harvey to act violently towards them to eliminate anyone telling what he did that day. Which is even more confusing why he would leave Terry Jo alive. He did, however, begin to sink the yacht. When this happened, Terry Jo came back above deck and asked Harvey, "Is the boat sinking?" He then replied with, "Yes," and asked her if she had seen the dinghy that was moored to the yacht. She replies yes, and he jumped into the water towards the loose vessel. He then gets his wife's corpse and brings it with him. After Harvey flees the yacht, Terry Jo climbs above deck and finds a single life raft aboard the vessel. She throws the raft into the ocean Without food, water, or any covering to protect her from the heat of the sun, Terry Jo would spend 84 hours before she was rescued on that raft. After 84 long hours, the ship, Captain Theo, would see the wreckage of the yacht and steer its course. Upon seeing the yacht, they would see a young girl sprawled across a life raft. They would snap the iconic picture of Terry Jo squinting in the sun as they rescue her. This would later go on the cover of Time magazine. Upon this time, Harvey was being discovered by the Coast Guard. Harvey did not tell the Coast Guard that anyone was aboard the yacht besides him and his wife, and that the yacht had had some issues and broken down, causing it to begin to sink and his wife drown. Around this time, Terry Jo was discovered, and this was made alert on the radio. When this was made alert, Harvey reportedly stammered back when he heard the news and said, "Oh my God, why that's wonderful." But the next day, Harvey would unalive himself in his motel room by slitting his thigh, ankle, and throat with a double-edged razor. To this day, it's unknown why Harvey let Terry Jo live. Did he suppose she would sink with the ship? Or did he have other reasons? But because of he unalived himself, we are left to assume. Some think that he wanted to get caught. Some think that he was just caught up in the moment. Others think he thought she would sink with the ship. What do you think? That's all for this case. And if you'd like to purchase these press-ons, they will be available in the link in my description below. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.